In the previous class, we discussed some of the electron microscopy methods to characterize nanomaterials. There is another category of microscopic technique known as scanning probe microscopes. It is basically a family of tools used to make images of nanoscale surfaces and structures, including atoms. They use a physical probe to scan back and forth over the surface of a sample. During this scanning process, a computer gathers the data that are used to generate an image of the surface. In addition to visualizing nanoscale structures, some kinds of scanning probe microscopes can be used to manipulate individual atoms and move them to make specific patterns. And these details are going to be discussed in this class. The scanning probe microscopes, or SPM, are a family of instruments used for studying S properties of materials from the atomic to micron level. All SPMs contain the components illustrated in this figure. There is a probe tip with a coarse positioning system to bring the tip into the general vicinity of the sample. A piezoelectric scanner which moves the sample under the tip or the tip over the sample in X, Y and Z directions. There is some mechanism to sense the vertical position of the tip and a feedback system to control the vertical position. And everything is interfaced to a computer to drive scanner measured data and to convert it into image. SPM is a powerful technique to obtain three-dimensional real space images of nanostructures and to perform nanoscopically localized measurements of physical properties such as local density of electronic states with atomic resolution. In contrast to electron microscopy, no special sample preparation is required in SPM techniques. The most common scanning probe microscopic techniques are scanning tunneling microscopy, or STM, and atomic force microscopy, or AFM. Scanning tunneling microscopy was the first instrument to generate real space images of surfaces with atomic resolution. STM uses a sharpened conducting tip with a bias voltage applied between the tip and the sample. When the tip is brought within about 10 angstrom of the sample, the electrons from the sample begin to tunnel through the gap into the tip, or vice versa, depending upon the sign of the voltage across this. The resulting tunneling current exponentially varies with tip to sample spacing, and it is the signal used to create an STM image. For tunneling to take place, both the sample and the tip must be conductors or semiconductors. STM cannot image insulating materials. The tunneling current is an exponential function of the distance. If the separation between the tip and the sample changes by let's say 10%, then the tunneling current will be changed by an order of magnitude. And this exponential dependence gives STM their remarkable sensitivity. STMs can image the surface of the sample with sub-angstrom precision vertically and atomic resolution laterally. STMs can be designed to scan a sample in either of two modes, a constant height mode or a constant current mode. In constant height mode, the tip travels in a horizontal plane above the sample, and the tunneling current varies depending on the topography and the local surface electronic property of the sample. The tunneling current measured at each location on the sample surface constitute the topographic image. In constant current mode, STM uses feedback to keep the tunneling current constant by adjusting the height of the scanner at each measurement point. For example, when the system detects an increase in tunneling current, it adjusts the voltage applied to the piezoelectric scanner to increase the distance between the tip and the sample. In constant current mode, the motion of the scanner constitutes the dataset. Each mode has advantages and disadvantages. The constant height mode is faster because the system doesn't have to move the scanner up and down, but it provides useful information only for relatively smooth surfaces. The constant current mode can measure irregular surfaces with high precision, but the measurement takes more time. The tunneling current corresponds to the electronic density of states at the surface. STMs actually sense the number of filled or unfilled electron states near the Fermi surface within an energy range determined by the bias voltage. Rather than measuring physical topography, it measures a surface of constant tunneling probability. The dependence of the sensitivity of STM to electronic structure is the greatest advantage of this technique. Other techniques for obtaining information about the electronic properties of a sample detect and average the data originating from a relatively large area, a few microns to a few millimeters across. STMs can be used as surface analysis tools that probe the electronic properties of the sample surface with atomic resolution. This image, for example, is the STM image of graphene, which clearly shows each atomic locations. And this is the STM of the single-walled carbon nanotube. Here also you can see the atomic locations very precisely. The atomic force microscope, or AFM, probes the surface of a sample with a sharp tip a couple of microns long and often less than 100 angstrom in diameter. The tip is located at the end of a cantilever. The forces between the tip and the sample surface causes the cantilever to bend or deflect. A detector measures the cantilever deflection as the tip is scanned over the sample or the sample is scanned under the tip. The measured cantilever deflections allow a computer to generate a map of surface topography. In contrast to STM, this imaging technique is non-dependent on the electrical conductivity of the sample. So AFM can be used to study insulators and semiconductors as well as electrical conductors. Several forces typically contribute to the deflection of an AFM cantilever. Depending on the separation between the tip and the sample, various forces may play the dominant role. The force most commonly associated with atomic force microscopy is an interatomic force called the van der Waals force. The dependence of the van der Waals force upon the distance between the tip and the sample is shown in this figure. Two distance regimes can be labeled here. One is the contact regime and the second is the non-contact regime. In the contact regime, the cantilever is held less than a few angstroms from the sample surface, and the interatomic force between the cantilever and the sample is repulsive in nature. Its origin is the so-called exchange interaction due to the overlap of the electronic orbitals at atomic distances. When this repulsive force is predominant, the tip and the sample are considered to be in contact. In this mode, the cantilever is usually not vibrating but deflect due to the friction or other forces. Such a deflection can be detected precisely by the sensitive photodiode. In non-contact regime, the cantilever is held on the order of tens to hundreds of angstroms from the sample surface, and the interatomic force between the cantilever and the sample is attractive due to long-range van der Waals interactions. In this mode, the cantilever is in vibrations with a constant frequency. To keep the resonant frequency during scanning, the Z scanner has to adjust the height of the cantilever. Such adjustments can be recorded by the computer to create the image. A comparison between the traditional optical and electron microscopes and SPM is given in this table, and you can see that SPM is not just superior in high resolution imaging, but more importantly it can target and manipulate just one atom or molecule. SPM provides the highest possible resolution in the imaging of nanoparticles and nanostructures.